We are thrilled to be joined once again by our friend Leecia Eve, who is Vice President of State Government Affairs for New Jersey, New York, Connecticut at Verizon. Good to see you.
Good to see you, as always.
And you love public broadcasting.
Yes, I do. I'm a huge fan.
Yes.
Yes. Go NJTV. Yes.
See, I knew you were going to do that. All right. Yes, you have a very close connection to us. I'll just say that.
Proudly so.
But we're not here to talk about that. We're talking about some things going on. By the way, talk about public service. You just became a commissioner of the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey.
Yes, I did. Extraordinarily honored. I had my first board meeting in July. I was nominated by Governor Cuomo of New York, whom I worked for a number of years, and confirmed by the Senate in New York in June. Had my first meeting, along with a number of other commissioners appointed by Governor Christie and Governor Cuomo. We all had our first meeting together in July, including with our new chairman, Kevin O'Toole.
That's right.
Yes.
Senator O'Toole came on to be the chair. Biggest issues the port is facing impacting us?
Well, I mean,
is it the gateway? Is it the gateway?
Well, gateway is obviously huge, right? It's a $30 billion project.
The tunnel. Let everybody understand the Gateway Tunnel. Check it out. Read about it. Go ahead.
And it's critically important, frankly, not just for our region, but it's important for the economic vitality of the East Coast and the United States.
How so?
Because of the tunnels that are currently existing that take train traffic from, say, Washington, D.C., to New England. I mean, just think about the movement of commerce and people for entertainment, for government, for private sector purposes, the movement of people from Washington, D.C. to New England. You have to use those tunnels that are currently existing, but as a practical matter, are close to 100 years old. And so the Gateway project is critically important, as I mentioned, not just for the region, but really for the economy, for the Northeast, and for the broader country. And it's reflected, the importance is reflected in the fact that you had Governors Christie, Cuomo, you had the New York congressional delegation led by...
Who's leading in New York?
Senator Schumer. And then you had Senator Booker there, as well as a number of members of Congress, all meeting in the White House with the President of the United States.
He's on board?
Well, I'll leave that for, obviously, the President of the United States to mention. But
right now, as we do this program on September the 19th, 2017, as we tape, there's some money in the budget for this, federal budget. Yes,
that's my understanding. And what I know what you know, which has been reported publicly, and that is that the meeting with the President went very well. It was strongly bipartisan. Everybody understands the importance of this project, as I mentioned, not just for the region and for the Northeast, but for our nation.
Let's shift gears.
Yes.
So, in 2015, Verizon acquires AOL.
Yes.
A year later, Verizon acquired Yahoo. Now, there is a new company called Oath that connects everything I just said.
Yes.
Could you help us understand not just what it is, but again, why it matters?
Well, you know, those acquisitions underscore that Verizon long stopped being your grandmother or even your mother's telephone company. The effect of those acquisitions and the formation of Oath was extraordinary. As a result of those acquisitions and the synergies that have come from them, we now have, as part of the Verizon family of companies, 50 brands, business to business, business to consumer technology brands that are part of the Oath family.
But put this in context for us. Telecommunications, the industry, regulated by the government.
In part, yes.
In part?
Yes.
Greatly impacting our lives. Did you ever envision the kinds of technological advances and changes that we're facing today, and God knows what we're going to be facing in the future?
I don't think anybody could have. I don't think anybody could have. And one of the things that my team and I do, and this is the core, part of the core of our responsibility to Verizon and frankly our customers, is to focus on educating stakeholders who want to do the right things by their communities, by their constituents, by their states. But just educate them and say, listen, a regulatory structure that is 40 years old, when everybody was using dial-up telephones, is not a structure that incentivizes innovation. It is not a regulatory structure that incentivizes investment. And so one of the things that we constantly underscore is, listen, we have to change this process to keep up with the technological changes so that, Verizon in particular, which is the one technology company that chooses to call, New Jersey our base of operations, doesn't have one arm tied behind its back as we continue to invest billions and billions in the state of New Jersey alone for the benefit of our customers.
In the time I have left, I've often asked this leadership question in different forms.
Yes.
You have risen to a leadership position in a variety of venues. Biggest advice you have, particularly for women who want to be leaders in their respective fields, is?
Be true to yourself. Be true to yourself. Because if you're not true to yourself, kind of nothing else really matters. If you're true to yourself, that can help you weather challenging times. If you're true to yourself, it helps you maximize the joy that you get from success of others or success for your company or your family or yourself. Be true to yourself.
I'm curious about this. Do you think it's any different for women of color as opposed to women who are not of color when it comes to leadership?
I think women of color in particular have some challenges because we, in some environments, fortunately, I do not have to deal with this issue at Verizon, but many women of color have to deal with the double whammy of both, sexism and racism. But I think as a practical matter, in terms of the leadership challenges, they're the same. And frankly, I would give the same advice to my nephew. Be true to yourself.
So male, female, doesn't matter?
Oh, it doesn't matter. The challenges, depending, if you're not in a supportive environment, I'm proud to work for a company where of our 12 members of the board of directors, we have 4 women and 3 people of color. And our leadership team includes extraordinary women and extraordinary people of color. Not every company is that way. And so I would say to anybody, black, white, red, brown, young, seasoned, young man, young woman, be true to yourself. Are the challenges sometimes greater for women and people of color? Oh, absolutely. But being true to yourself, I think, regardless of who you are, helps you weather the challenging times and helps you build most successfully with success.
The next time Leecia comes back, she's going to tell us about her trip to Africa because she learned all kinds of interesting things that she will share with us.
It was a trip of a lifetime.
Right? And you'll talk about it that.
Yes.
Leecia, thanks you so much.
Oh, so good to see you, as always. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. State of Affairs, coming to you from the Agnes Veris TV studio here at NJTV News. That's it for this edition of State of Affairs. I'm Steve Adubato. Thank you so much for watching. Follow us on Twitter at Steve Adubato. See you next week. Thank you.
State of Affairs with Steve Adubato is a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. State of Affairs with Steve Adubato is brought to you from the Agnes Veris NJTV studio at 2 Gateway. Funding has been provided by Adler Aphasia Center, New Jersey State Nurses Association, and the Institute for Nursing, Rowan University, TD Bank, Choose New Jersey, Summit Medical Group, and by QualCare Inc. Promotional support provided by Meadowlands Regional Chamber, building essential connections that drive business growth, and by Jaffe Communications, where business, media, and government converge in New Jersey.